Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the absolute ultimate heavyweight matchup. If you've been trying to choose the perfect premium AI subscription for your daily workflow, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to dig into the data, break down the strengths, and figure out exactly which AI assistant really deserves that spot on your digital tool belt. But first, I want you to ask yourself a super direct question. Are you actually using the right AI for your specific daily workflow? A lot of us just default to the very first tool we ever tried. But today, we're shifting the focus entirely away from which AI is the best overall to which AI is the best for you.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because according to our source material, the differences are much smaller than they were a year ago. Both of these platforms are genuinely incredible AI assistants right now. And because they're both so good, we aren't really looking for a total knockout punch here. We're looking for those absolutely crucial tiebreakers.
So here's our tail of the tape agenda for today. First, the great AI matchup. Second, comparing core capabilities. Third, why the differences actually matter. Fourth, picking your perfect tool. And finally, number 5, the final verdict. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the great AI matchup. Let's set the stage.
All of our insights today are drawn directly from a super comprehensive comparison matrix from our source. At first glance, the differences between ChatGPT and Claude might actually seem kind of subtle, but it's really fascinating just how heavily these subtle differences influence things like speed, output quality, your daily workflow, and, honestly, the types of work you'll actually trust these models to handle.
Let's move to Section 2, comparing core capabilities, and see how this builds in our round-by-round breakdown.
When you look at overall capability and breadth, the contrast is just fascinating. Think of ChatGPT as your incredibly versatile all-in-one Swiss Army knife. It handles coding, voice, image generation, complex data analysis, the whole shebang. On the flip side, Claude is intensely text-focused. It zeroes in on offering absolutely stellar, top-tier reasoning and writing workflows. And when it comes to writing style, completely different approaches here. ChatGPT is highly adaptable. It'll write professionally, creatively, technically, whatever you want. But it really rewards you for steering it and giving it highly specific instructions. Claude, though, it naturally produces this polished, thoughtful, very human-like long-form writing right out of the gate, with barely any prompting required.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core philosophical difference between the two companies. ChatGPT offers this massive, broad ecosystem. You get images, custom GPTs, automations, memory, all sitting in one convenient place. Claude gives you a much simpler, cleaner interface that is just hyper-focused on deep conversations and intense document work, totally skipping the extra bells and whistles.
So what about the developers out there? Well, both are fantastic at coding, but they definitely serve slightly different needs. ChatGPT tends to give you a richer end-to-end developer experience, helping out with architecture and debugging across tons of different frameworks. Claude, meanwhile, is absolutely exceptional when you need it to explain complex code or carefully review massive existing code bases.
Wrapping up core capabilities, we've got to talk about large documents. ChatGPT handles them pretty well, and it has some great supportive analysis tools. But Claude is literally purpose-built for this. If your job involves reading hundreds of pages of contracts, massive technical reports, or even entire books, Claude can comfortably chew through and summarize all of that in a single conversation. It's a real game changer for heavy readers.
All right, Section 3, why the differences matter. Let's talk about impacting your actual workflow. The source breaks this down into 5 specific pillars where these differences actually hit your daily routine and your wallet. We're looking at productivity, quality of output, enterprise use, learning curve, and return on investment. Let's unpack these really quick. Starting with productivity, there's a fantastic rule of thumb from the source material. The best AI is the one that reduces the number of tools you need to use. With ChatGPT, you can literally replace multiple apps. You can draft a report, crunch numbers in an Excel file, generate charts, and create images all in one continuous flow. Claude, by contrast, perfects a very specific loop. It really shines when your day revolves exclusively around reading, analyzing, and writing text. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the dynamic between the learning curve and output quality. Because ChatGPT has so many configurable personalities, it comes with a steeper learning curve. It highly rewards detailed, specific prompting. But Claude, It performs incredibly well with super simple instructions. You just ask and boom, it gives you beautifully flowing prose. And this leads directly into how entirely different enterprise departments pick their champion, based strictly on workflow alignment. Software engineering teams, they tend to prefer ChatGPT for its broad capabilities and deep system integrations. On the flip side, legal, research, and policy teams, basically anyone dealing with mountains of text, overwhelmingly value Claude for its heavy-duty document strengths. So, it all anchors around this crucial question right here. Can this replace multiple tools? If you're paying for an AI assistant out of pocket, or you're trying to budget for your team, this is your return on investment conversation. The financial stakes of this decision rely entirely on which tool allows you to confidently cancel the most other software subscriptions. Section 4. Picking your perfect tool. Let's look at the decision matrix. Running through the decision matrix from our source, ChatGPT absolutely dominates in a few key fields. If your daily grind involves software development, product management, or agile coaching, ChatGPT is absolutely your go-to. It's also the undisputed winner for business analysis, crunching raw data in Excel or CSV files, building executive presentations, generating images, and just managing your comprehensive everyday productivity tasks. By contrast, Claude's specific use cases highlight its absolute dominance when it comes to the written word. If you're doing deep, complex research summaries, Claude definitely has the edge. If you're digesting massive 200 to 500 page-long reports, Claude is hands down the better choice. And for creative writing, that natural, flowing prose we talked about gives it a massive advantage. But hey, there are a couple of dead heats. The source identifies two specific areas as an absolute tie. Brainstorming is an equal match between the two models, and for writing product requirements documents, or PRDs, it's a total toss-up. Claude has a slight edge with its natural prose right out of the box, but ChatGPT is way more adaptable if you need that document formatted in very specific technical ways. Section 5. The final verdict. Let's make your choice. Here is the bottom line directly from our source material. Neither model is universally better. You should choose ChatGPT if you want a comprehensive AI workspace that seamlessly combines reasoning, coding, data analysis, and visual generation. Choose Claude if your primary work is heavy reading, deeply understanding context, and producing high-quality long-form text. And honestly, I found this fascinating. A ton of professionals just choose to use both. They'll run ChatGPT as their primary do-it-all platform and keep Claude on hand as a complementary tool specifically for heavy document lifting. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. Take a hard look at your tech stack today. Based on the workflows we just outlined, are you really using the right tool for your specific workflow? Or is it time to optimize your daily routine and maybe even use both? Take this knowledge, do a quick audit of your daily tasks, and put the right AI to work for you today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy prompting.